Alright, hello everybody. Welcome to my channel today. I'm Kevin, and today we're back to our topics of biopsychology. Well, I know it's been quite a long time since I had a video, but it's just that, I've been having a lot of work lately, of course, about my academic problems and also about the studying abroad problems. So it was quite a long time, and it took me some time to prepare for all of that. So that's why I barely got out any videos since the last one, but now we have some free time for that, even when it's quite late now. And I think that I cannot say that I'm free for that, but I still have some times to make a video for you guys. And I think that after a long time of not talking about these topics, we need to make a process. So, today we are continuing on the topics of human evolution. So, in the last clips from a long, long time away, we already talked about the evolution theories of Darwin, and also we talk about the evolution of mammals, amphibians, and reptiles. So today we're going to focus on a type of mammals, human. So, the emergence of humans are not just simple not just simply about Homo sapiens alone. So, the primates of the family of humans include humans and call them the hominins. So, according to the view of some simple scientists, this family is composed or built up by two genera, which mean two branches of the biological structure, which mean that there are two branch of species. So, first we have the Australopithecus, and the next branch is the Homo. So, first the Australopithecus is a single branch or a single genera, you could say a genus, and the Homo is a combine of two genera, which is the Homo sapiens and the Homo erectus, which already extinct. As for Homo sapiens, we already understand that they are human. So, one version of the taxonomy of human species is presented in some fossil discoveries, which is the Homo erectus. You see, they are the most common one found about human in the ancient world. And it is difficult to reconstruct the events of human evolutions because the evidence about their evolution and development are quite phrased. They are really not that good comparing to other evolution traits of other species because they are really sparse. Only a few partial hominin fossils dating in the critical period have been discovered, and only a few movements. So, you see, you cannot just simply take the fossil fuel of, the fossil record of some Homo sapiens or Homo erectus in any eras and try to point out the evolution because maybe sometime the evolution didn't happen at that time yet, or maybe they just simply did already finish the evolution. So you can compare the difference between before and after, but you don't know exactly what is the time that evolution appears. All right. So, well, there are, however, three important hominid fossil discoveries have been recently being made for by the scientists in all over the world. First, that is a commonly complete fossil record of a 3-year-old Australopithecus female in Ethiopia, and this was found in gibbons by 29 as Sua et al. And by Sua et al. And White et al. So they are family. And the next discoveries in fossil records that contribute to the evolution theories of human is the fossil discoveries indicating that a population of tiny hominins inhabit at Indonesia island for flowers as recently as 13,000 years ago. So it's an island in Indonesia. We can call it an Indonesian island. And also, there are several early Australopithecus fossils with combination of human and non-human characteristics, which is the critical period where the evolution is appearing through generations that was found in a bit in South Africa by Cuby et al. And Cuvier et al. Well, They are also found out by Pickering et al. And Wong, and of course they are not in the et al. Family. All right. So after these discoveries, many experts believe that the Australopithecines evolved about 6 million years ago in Africa because most of the founding appears in Africa, especially in the most ancient time and also the most critical times where the evolutions are happening and were happening. Sorry, and several species of Australopithecus are thought to have roamed Africa brains, African's brains for about 5 million years before eventually becoming extinct. Australopithecines were only about 1.3 meters tall, which is 4 feet tall. They had small brains, really small compared to human. But the analysis of their pelvis and leg bones indicates that they are still at least the type of mammals that stand straight up on two legs. And well, at first there were some, like doubts about their upright posture, but soon they were all erased by a picture that was found in Africa by, a scientist named Agnew and Desma. They're two scientists, sorry. And the pictures indicate that there are one adult Australopithecines and a younger one, maybe their son, walking side by side. Sorry, not side by side, in a line. So, because the son or the child is walking in the footprint of the adult in the picture, which means there are no animals there, but they left the footprint after so many years. So, the adult walk first, and then the child follows his steps, his footprints on the ground. So this is a really basic technique and commonly used in some militaries where you have to step on the person in front of you, yeah, the footprint of the person in front of you in order to avoid bombs, snakes, and other danger. So, you see, this just happened as similarly. And that's why people indicate that they cannot do that and they will left fingerprints if they are crawling on four hands. And that's why this proves that Australopithecines already walk and stand straight up on their two legs. The first Homo species after the appearance of the Australopithecines are thought to evolve are like about 2 million years after the appearance of the Australopithecines. And one distinctive feature of the early Homo species compared to the Australopithecus is that they have bigger brain size and of course really bigger, even when so even so, I mean, they're still smaller compared to modern day of our biological structure. And the early Homo species used fire and stones. Used fire and tools. For example, stone spear, stone sword, pickaxe, and something like that. Well, I don't think they have pickaxe yet. And they coexist in Africa with various species, including Australopithecus, for about a half a million years, which is 500,000 years or so. And after that, when the Australopithecines died out and became extinct, then the Homo species start to spread out all over the world from Africa. And so we know that Africa is also the place where born out the Homo species. But this is a theory, and I didn't check it out really yet. I found some evidence in books and internet, but I mean, if you want to check it out, you should get some more official information. I mean, my information is also official, but I didn't get enough because I also heard some other ideas from my friends, which is involved in the field of this. And also, I have more information on the internet. So, and ChatGPT as well. I mean, so you see, there are some information about that, but the official information, yeah, sorry, the some official information really indicate that Africa is where the first Homo species were started to, born out and evaluate. The evolution, right? Evolute and spread out all over the world. And about 200,000 years ago, early Homo species were gradually replaced by the African fossil record by modern humans, which is Homo sapiens, but in a modern style. And then about 500,000 years ago, modern humans began to migrate out of Africa to all over the world. And there are a paradox like this. Even when that the start of Homo species start like over 2 million years ago, but well, they really are a big gap between the period where the first Homo species, which is the Homo erectus, and the type of animals animals were today Homo sapiens creating tools. And even when we appear to become Homo sapiens like about 50,000 years ago, we still don't really learn how to make art and learn how to make complex things at that time. So, well, out of the big three human attributes, large brain, upright posture, and free hands with an opposable thumb have been evident for hundreds of thousands of years, which is more than 50,000 years. Yeah, I mean, more than Homo sapiens. They start at the era when they are just simply Homo erectus, like 2 million years ago. But still, during that time of evolution, there are no record or barely any record about the development in art, in manufacturing, or agriculture. So this is a really big question about that. So the artistic products did not appear until about 40,000 years ago, which means 10,000 years after the official appearance of the Homo sapiens. I mean, no, 10,000 years after the appearance, sorry, the spread out of the Homo sapiens. So the Homo sapiens, we modern human appeared like 200,000 years ago. That's a right number. And after like 50,000 years ago, they start to migrate out all over the world. But well, after that 10,000 years, after the migration, the global migration of Homo sapiens, they start to have art. So that is a really long time, even when before that, yeah, the time, the gap between the appearance of Homo sapiens and the time when they migrate out all over the world was 150,000 years. But still, they didn't create any development in art, agriculture, or simply industry about that. So, well, that means in Africa they barely have a development. So I think that they reach a state where all of everything are already satisfied to their needs. I think so. And well, ranching and farming were not established until about 10,000 years ago, and writing was not invented until third, 3,500 years ago. So you see, most of the evolution and development in our brain activities and also the activities that need to include intelligence just simply start like over 40,000 years ago, even when our species start to appear and have bigger brain size compared to our ancestor from 200,000 years ago. And that is the paradox that nowadays people still not have enough data to understand. All right, so that's all I want to talk to you guys today about the simplest evolution of human. And of course, we still have more to talk about that, how we could think and understand about this, and what meanings does the history of evolution means to us, and how can we use this to understand more about ourselves, about our mental behavior. All right, so that's all I want to talk with you guys today. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you guys in my next video. And I think it's time for us to say goodbye. See ya, bye.